Tonight was a huge first step in getting back professional sports in America, and aside from a few slip-ups that could be improved, I have to say I was pretty impressed with how the UFC handled things. Welcome back everyone to your number one source for getting a unique medical perspective on the world of sports. It feels so good to be able to talk with you guys about some fresh, new sports content here after UFC 249 just wrapped up. Now, there weren't too many big injury moments to discuss in this video. We of course saw Nico Price take a pretty hard left hook and end up with a pretty nasty looking eye injury. Alexei Oleinik decided to take a little bit of a nap between rounds. I personally thought the Cruz Cejudo stoppage was appropriate and was just as impressed as probably everybody else by the Gaethje Ferguson fight and just how insanely tough of a chin Ferguson has. But I instead want to focus on just the event itself and how things were handled and how this could be perceived for the whole world of sports going forward. Somebody has to be first in the path towards resuming professional sports here in America. Oftentimes it's the person who goes first that ends up making the most mistakes before everybody else can learn from them. The thing is, I can't see much changing between now and when we have a widely available vaccine that'll suddenly make us all feel 100% safe with sports returning. As we know it, that could be well into the winter, if not longer, and so certainly sports aren't going to go that long without trying to do what they can to return. And I don't think UFC 249 continuing despite a fighter and part of his camp testing positive should be looked at as a failure. Rather, it should be looked at almost as a success that their testing protocol was able to identify someone who was positive before they stepped into the ring and were around even more people. Yes, you can say what you want about criticizing the weigh-in and the face-off and the fact that, Dana White and everybody is still fist bumping out here. You can argue about testing every day, testing once a week, testing twice, and so on. But the fact is, this is what they decided. They were able to identify the positive test and cancel those fights before putting more people at risk. The biggest thing though that I hope the UFC changes going forward is what they educate the people in attendance about masking. We saw so many people, if they were even wearing a mask, which I was impressed the majority seemed to be, that were wearing their masks in completely the wrong way, with it down kind of just over their mouth or over their chin. This is not the right way to wear a mask. Yes, it's better than wearing nothing, but if you're gonna wear a mask, wear it the right way. Just cover your nose. I know it's a lame thing to complain about, but please, if you're gonna wear a mask, put it on the right way. I'm not sure what education the UFC had about the proper way to wear a mask or if they supplied the masks. There was a lot of variety between everything from N95 respirator masks, which are kind of the top end people in the ICUs that are wearing them in healthcare, all the way down to people wearing what look like UFC kind of generated cloth masks. It's a wide range of protection that these types of masks offer, and so it'd be good if there was some kind of more standard protocol for what masks need to be worn, when and where they need to wear them, and the proper way that they should be worn. Not only does this hurt the safety of those individuals, but just the public perception of this doesn't look good when you've got people on national TV that are wearing their masks in kind of dopey ways. Also, somebody needs to tell Bryce Mitchell that his mask is on upside down. The tops of these N95 masks have a little metal bar that basically forms over your nose, and here he's got it on upside down. I mean, just put your mask on the right way. You can sit and nitpick and criticize and find all kinds of little things that were done or were not done at UFC 249 that put the players at higher risk or might not have been the most safe. But for the first event that we've had back, I think they did pretty good. And of course they're gonna make mistakes. They're going to learn from these mistakes for future events, and I can guarantee that other commissioners and people like Adam Silver are sitting and watching this event, watching the reactions, learning from what Dana White was doing so that they can help their own players to get their sport back sooner. Of course, we'll have to wait a week or two to see if any new cases develop, but again, that's going to give us more evidence and assistance for future sports to really understand the real risk. Let me know your thoughts below. I'm sure this is going to be a pretty polarizing discussion, but I watched it, I enjoyed it, and I think we can learn a lot from this first step. But again, it's a first step, and the first people are always going to be the ones that make the most mistakes. And whether we did this now or we do this in 1 month or 2 months, I don't think there's really that much of a difference in terms of the risk based on what they did. Thanks as always for watching the video, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.